Streaming live from the beautiful city of Hollywood, Florida, USA. This is SoFloRadio.com.
Hey everybody, welcome to Rick's Show on the radio. This edition features a good friend of mine, Mr. William Newell Bate, and we're just going to listen to a little bit of his music for a second, and we'll come back and join him on the air on Rick's Show on the radio on SoFloRadio.com.
Say about the bombs that time and how hard it is to come by energy. Before all we had to worry about was them dropping the bomb. Now the dealer is dealing a different lifeboat that kept our lives afloat. There wasn't a thing that we wouldn't do for each other. And now we're tied up in our cities. The way we treat our own, it's a pity. When you see a starving man lying next to a millionaire's road hall. Before all we had to worry about was them dropping the bomb. Now the dealer is dealing a different card. Before all we had to worry about was them dropping the bomb. Now our main concern is our own backyard.
All right, welcome everybody to the show, and I got Newell Bate here. How's it going,
Rick?
Billy?
Oh, man, it's great to be here, Rick.
I knew you as Bill Bate back in the day.
You knew me as Bill Bate.
Right.
That's right, and somewhere along the way I changed it to Newell.
Because of the cops and all that kind of stuff.
That's right.
That was, yeah.
Salt Lake City, don't mention it.
Okay, I wasn't
don't
going
mention
to,
Bill
but
Bate
you
in
did.
Salt Lake City.
All right. So Newell was Newell name.
That's right, it's a renewal.
We go back. Oh gosh,
That's bad.
That's okay. It's okay at Rick's Show on the radio. We do that. That's what we do. You got my friend George. That's great. Thank you, George, for that. All right. Anyway, I'd want to introduce my guests here in the studio. Newell Bate, of course, and then we have young Anthony, who's over here doing my soundboard, producer guy. Thank you, sir. Mr. George Rodriguez, the legendary. Stick your face in there. Yeah, there he is.
That's right.
He's over there giving us scowling looks if we're doing something wrong, or playing the little drum when we play something funny or say something funny. So that's his job over there. Thanks, George. George, you used to do that for Neil Rogers back in the day, didn't you? Play that little drum thing?
Absolutely.
That's right. That's what he got paid big bucks for now.
Neil.
Rim shots.
Yes.
We love Neil.
Yeah, he was a great guy. He sure was. I used to listen to him a lot. As a matter of fact, he used to play, because of George Rodriguez, used to play a lot of original music for rejoining music. Isn't that right, George? Yeah, a lot of original
That was
stuff.
all me.
Yeah, he was a guy that started all that.
George doesn't even remember discovering us.
Nah, he's discovered
There's
so
so many.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I remember driving around and I was listening to Neil Rogers, and then a rejoiner music was like Black Janet, Blood, Love Thirsty, and I was playing bass. I go, hey, that's me playing.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that's cool
Black
stuff.
Janet.
Yeah.
You were the bass player? Were you playing your stick?
No, I was playing a bass back then. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I know that we're talking about me today, but I can't help talking about you. Okay. And it involves my son, because my son is a maestro on the stick now.
That'd be Flint.
And on the 14 string.
Mm-hmm.
But the first time I ever saw everybody, and this is a fact, first time anybody ever saw a stick was this guy right here, Rick Stick. And we were wondering, what the heck? And I used to tell my bass player, you're not allowed to play like that.
But people don't even know, what is the guy talking about anyway? A stick? What's that? I
Stick.
don't know.
Oh, that's the tapping style.
Yeah.
Where you tap it. And
Yeah, it's got 10 string. Well, there's different types. It's got 10 strings, and you use both hands
And you
to
are...
tap on the guitar side or the bass side.
That's right.
I wasn't that good. I wasn't, your son's a lot better than I am, let me tell you. Because I
Well-
used to play the bass on it, and maybe a couple chords.
You got to say, there was not so many guys doing it back then, so you have to get credit for
All
really
right.
bringing it along,
I'll do
because that was so strange to us all.
Yeah.
But now the guitar has a lease on life for, I would say, another 100 years. 100 years now.
Oh, yeah.
Now that the stick has come along, people like Flint Blade and you...
Yeah, looking forward to having your son Flint come on
on
the
the
show
show.
or sometime, or Skype in
Yep.
for my edition called Trainwreck, which is a new thing I've been doing. Trainwreck's been very popular with some of my friends from the older guys. Like I'm going to call them the legacy bands.
Yeah.
I don't want to call them old guys band. But bands from South
Right, we
Florida,
don't wanna
they're
call them the old
from the
guys
80s and the 90s.
legacy bands.
Yeah, some
That's
of them
the
are
good
living
way-
in
good way of
different
putting
parts.
it.
Yeah, people are living in different parts of the country, and they're going to call in. They're going to be all Skyped in, and we'll all play together. And latency, schmatency. What does that
you
mean?
Got
I don't know.
something there. I'm a
Yeah.
legacy artist. What do? I'm a legacy artist.
Legacy, yeah, I like that. Yeah,
You're an antique.
yeah.
But,
So let's speak about that, Will.
Leading to the stick, though, we called you Rick Stick, and
Yeah.
you're on our video. Anyways, I'm the guy from Live Bait. We might as well just say that. I'm the guy from Live Bait. Here.
Yep, Bill Bate from Live
Bill
Bait.
Bate from Live Bait.
And that was quite. I'll tell you what, that was a really great band. That started. I knew you back in the '80s, late '80s, and your band was one of these. I don't know. It was like sort of new wave, but they had some really heavy jazz guys come in and play with you as well.
Well, part of a problem was people couldn't accept it because we played like folk, jazz, rock, ambient, and they didn't call it ambient. Loops, King Crimson. We were influenced by everybody,
Yeah,
and we
that's
thought
what's
we could get away with it, and
And you did.
We did get away.
Yeah.
with it.
Nobody got arrested or anything.
Now,
Oh, no,
where that
wait.
started, though, I will say, is the group Wizard of All.
Wizard of All. I remember that name now. Tell us, is that?
Well, I know you were
Something
going to ask me about my personal beginnings. And
That's right,
Did
yep.
you- go ahead and ask me about that.
Okay. Hey, listen, Bill. With
You
Newell.
can call me Bill.
We're going to start from way in the back here. Let's start about your personal thing now. Where are you from, and when did you start getting interested in music?
Here's how it happened. I was born in Chicago, and like so many, we came down here. I was about 4 years old, 5 years old when we came down here. Everybody moved down here.
Yeah, me too.
And I had a little friend named Pedro, and we used to go around, and little kids, before we played, we had a little dream of being in a band, and we used to think we were going to make our own instruments, go walk along the canals and get driftwood and say,
Big.
yeah, this would make a guitar neck.
Big dreams. Oh,
Big
man.
dreams. That became a band called All. We had a three-piece band called All.
And how old were you then? 7,
I guess
8?
we were 10.
No, 10. Okay.
Yeah, 10, 11, 8, 9, 10, 11, right in there. And before that, we even had the band called Tolstoy because we were so heavy.
That is heavy. You guys are like
Tolstoy.
4 or 5, right?
Then we were thinking of that stuff.
Tolstoy. 7
So-
years old, and he's thinking of that.
When all broke up,
Mm-hmm.
oh, it was so terrible. 12 years old, we
The
broke
groupies
up.
must have been devastated.
They were dead. When we broke up, I insisted that the next band have the name All in it, and I was really kind of a jerk about it, probably.
Well, of course you
But-
went all in the band.
We would want All in whatever name we could come up with.
Of course.
So
Makes total sense.
you know what was playing on TV, which they used to show every year? Wizard of Oz.
Right.
So there you go. We're all arguing about what the name's going to be, and there it was, right on TV, Wizard of Oz, Wizard of All, and we became the Wizard of All.
Okay.
The thing about that group was, I know we don't have a lot of time. We only have an hour.
Yeah. So you got a lot of videos.
We got a lot of ground.
And a lot of people want to call in and talk to you too.
We're still back in 68?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're back in 68 right now. That group practiced 4 or 5 nights a week.
Wow.
So all the other bands who would just practice 1 night a week, there was no way they were going to catch up with us in a month.
That's
we
probably
already
why you guys
one
got so
week we
good.
already practiced
Right.
what they did in a month. So our group got really good at jazz, and Wizard of All won the Southeastern Newport Jazz Talent Search for, I guess it was 1970.
Wow.
And we got some money with that. And we went to Criteria with that money.
Criteria.
Yes, and it was our second or third time at Criteria. But this time we were already moving along. We didn't give them back jazz. We gave them our new fusion rock. So that kind of killed it for them because we were really jazzy, and now all of a sudden we became heavy. So what can you say? We had to move along.
Yeah. You guys are real chameleons.
Yeah, we had to move along. That was Wizard of All.
You had some really notable people that went through your band. People that were, really good musicians. Rupert.
Rupert Zielinski is now Professor Z.
Yeah, he's a great. I just seen him play
Teaches.
bass, but I know he plays other instruments as well, right?
He's got to be the #1 reader in South Florida as far as reading music goes, and the #1 call guy for all the plays, I would say.
Wow.
Yeah, I would say he is pretty much. And what an ear, an arranger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'm pretty sure he's going to give us a call
Professor
a little
Z.
later on.
Yeah, I hope he does. He's out in California.
Yeah, he's in a volcano somewhere.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so he's going to call us from there, I think. Yeah.
I don't know
What I've been told.
when he's gonna call.
Yeah, he'll call.
From the volcano.
And also our friend Russ Hinton, Mr.
Oh
Hinton.
my gosh.
Yes, he's a great guitar player, man. And the funny thing is, watching Russ Hinton play guitar, he plays, left-handed, upside down, like Jimi Hendrix. You ever see somebody play like that and how they make a D chord?
I
It's
can't
like,
even be.
What the hell? Yeah, it's freaky. I think you got to be alien or something.
Oh my gosh, Russ Hinton. He went out for a pack of cigs before we were going to be playing at a thing for Jocko after Jocko passed. He went out for a pack of cigs and didn't come back for 30 years. And he came back, and it was so good to see him. We saw him the other night,
Yeah,
Russ
that's right.
Hinton.
We had a little reunion.
He's got to
there.
be one of the most unique guitarists ever.
Yeah.
When you hear Russ, you know it's Russ.
Yeah, he's got that. I don't know, because it's left-handed, he plays these big, fat jazz chords and listens to
Unbelievable.
Alan Holdsworth all day. It's like
Right.
You
Right.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you've also worked with a lot of different artists, as a matter of fact, and some pretty heavy guys.
Well, let me bring up my good buddy who I grew up
Okay,
with.
go
He was
ahead.
there all the time, Peter Yanellos.
Oh yeah, Peter.
And he's doing big things right now. And he's done a lot of big things. I did the heyday of his recordings throughout the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
We worked with so many major artists, just majors. And I was so lucky we were doing Supertramp. It was the Breakfast in America,
I remember that. That's a big tour.
the live thing.
The big tour.
And we were recording that at Highlight. And
I lie.
I was the one handling that. They left it in my hands. Supertramp said, "We do not want anybody from Criteria here. We don't want anybody here, except Newell,
Okay.
Bill Bate at that time." So they were one of my heroes. I couldn't even. I mean, I never get starstruck, but Supertramp, I got starstruck.
And you had to run sound
and
and
I was
record
the
it?
guy in charge of the whole
Wow.
deal.
Yeah.
And those 2 shows went off without a hitch.
Excellent.
And
Did they get recorded?
Oh yeah, and I don't want to say anything, but
Go ahead, say it.
it's
It's okay.
possible that those are our recordings.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say anything.
No. Tell me a little bit about Peter Yanellis. Now he has he's always had a nice big mobile recording
That's right.
outfit. What's the name of it?
Artisan Recorders.
And-
Pete Yanillos, when he was a kid, he had his head in the books. Electronics, and he built stuff, and he knows
Mm-hmm.
how all that stuff works. He knows how to build it. He did the MCI machines. Now he's like somewhere off there in digital world.
Yeah, he stays up with the
Yanillos,
technology.
He's a good buddy of ours. He was our guitarist in Live Bait for on and off for many, many years. Throughout the whole thing, really on and off. We all had a open, closed door. If you could do it, you could do it. If you
Yeah, I was a part of Live Bait
you
for a little
saved
while.
our butt.
I did a
on
couple
of
times.
gigs.
Yeah, well, yeah.
When Professor Z couldn't do it.
Right,
and
exactly.
you stepped in there and learned all the material. It was really awesome.
Which is a little bit rough too, because
That
you're
was
not a 1,
amazing that
4,
you
5
would step
musician, man.
in.
You know, I would have to
and learn these songs right for 2 shows.
Well, I listened to him a lot too.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
I was great. It was a lot of fun playing with you guys. Very diverse music.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of Peter, because I got to give him a little tap on the shoulder. He is the engineer for the Steel Wheels, Rolling Stones, Steel Wheels. He's
Really?
the guy.
He traveled around with him.
He recorded
that's
it.
Awesome.
He recorded the live album. He's
Wow.
the engineer and the mixdown guy.
That's big
He's
time.
the guy.
Wow.
So on the
Maybe
Friday,
we get him to call in.
I wish he would. Actually, he's probably
On the road, huh?
he's
Probably asleep.
Yeah, probably asleep.
We'll send him the blog.
But actually, I was there on the first day of that opening, and I had a second row seat that my buddy Pete Lavizzoli gave me, the drummer of the Terrazzo Days Live Bait.
Ah.
He was the drummer. Pete Lavizzoli is really getting up there. He's playing with, some of the Grateful Dead guys right now.
Oh, yeah?
Oh yeah, he brought Crazy Fingers through. He's still
Great
with Crazy Fingers for all that time.
Okay.
Hey Bubba, if you're listening, we miss you. We know you had to leave Crazy Fingers, but we miss you. We love you, buddy.
Yeah, so listen, folks, I know there's a lot of people that know Billy Newell Bate from back in the day. You guys are welcome to call in and add your 2 cents. The number to call in is 954-990-0036. We're expecting some calls from some of his former bandmates to call in. But in the meantime, you brought us some music and some videos and things here. So I know, I'll just say this.
What do you feel like doing?
Well, I'm going to play one of your songs and your videos that you did with, I think, Peter Moran, who's your engineer, right?
Yes.
He did the video for it.
Yes.
But
He doesn't want us to say his name, Peter Moran. He doesn't like hearing Peter
Well, why
Moran.
would we say
live
Peter
out
Moran
in
if we
public
don't want us to
because
say
he doesn't
Peter
want us to
Moran?
Peter Moran.
yeah, because after all,
He
I mean,
just likes to be humble about the name Peter Moran. So
yeah. Well, I would let's not bring
Thank you,
Peter
Pe-
Moran up anymore.
we won't bring Peter Moran
because
up
he's so
after I say
humble, and we
thank
don't want to
you.
talk to him. And he is a great engineer and a great guy.
Who? Pete Moran?
Peter Moran is what I'm
Yeah,
talking
right.
about. Who'd
Yeah.
you think I was talking about?
That guy. Oh, I thought you were talking about Jorge.
No, Peter Moran.
He's
That's
over
what I'm
here.
talking about. Okay. Anyway,
Are you still here, George? Hi.
so I'll tell you what. Let's play one of your songs here. We played Nuclear Reactor. So tell me a little bit about that. That we opened it up with that, but now we're going to play Paper Man next. But Nuclear Reactor was the one we opened with. Is
Yeah,
that the one
Nuclear Reactor, very heavy live bait tune. That was one of the favorites, and I just smashed the drums. I probably stood up while I was playing Nuclear Reactor.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't smash the drums like that anymore, though.
Okay. You know what? I'll tell you what. We got a caller. Before we go to your video, let's. This is a very fluid show. So you want to talk to Nick here?
Yeah, let's
Mr.
talk
Bate?
to Nick.
Who's Nick? Tell us. Hey, Nick, are you on the line?
All right. Nick is the main founder of the group Second Son, and he's worked with a lot of major artists.
Hey, welcome to the show, Nick.
Thank you.
What's that group that you worked with the lead singer, Steven Tyler?
Oh yeah.
Aerosmith.
Oh.
Yeah, Aerosmith, those guys, yeah.
Yeah.
You worked with them. He's worked a lot of majors.
Where are you calling from, Nick?
I'm calling from Bill's studio down here with Prodigy.
All right, how's it going with the guys?
Good. They will send the yell out.
Can they all say hi?
Yep, hold on.
All right. Sounds like you got a party going on there.
All right.
Are you guys playing music there together? You want to play a couple, like 5 seconds of music? No?
You guys can play. Well, the drummer isn't here yet.
Oh, that's all
Oh,
right.
Cornflake.
Well.
Drummer's name is
Oh,
Cornflake.
cornflake. Oh, I thought it was a new curse word.
See, if I was there, I would have been playing. Prodigy's a group I'm producing right now, and they have a show called Clarissa's World.
Oh, yes, of course. I know them guys. Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah, Clarissa was was in one of my first movies that I did.
Yeah, she's a real troubadour in acting and writing and singing. She's great.
Yeah, that's
Fantastic.
great. So you guys getting some work done over at the studio, Nick?
Yeah, we're getting some work done.
Good. Excellent.
Well, listen, Nick, thanks for taking care of the studio for me today. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for calling in, too, okay? Good luck over there.
All righty.
All right. Speaking of your studio, by the way, your recording studio.
Yes.
It's been in the same place, and you've had it since 1980 or something, right?
1980.
And I was there like last weekend, and of course you have the latest equipment in there with Pro Tools.
Yes.
But the walls of this has like these old posters, and I mean,
This
it
should become a museum.
It should be. It should be.
It
It's
should
got
become a museum. You walk through.
It has like 30-something years of musician funk in there.
We have that big wall, and everybody's managed to get their little picture on there and poster. We have.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And you guys, I mean, you've had like tape machines in there, right?
We still got some analog. I still got the MCI mastering machine, and I still got an 8-track tape, and 2 8-tracks actually, 1/2 inch and 1/4 inch, and we have everything in tape actually.
Excellent.
We're not using it a lot, but it's there, and it will never go away.
That's great. Yeah, that's a great studio. It really has a lot of, I don't know, heart.
I'm really getting a good tape sound though out of this. The way, I don't know what's happening, but it's just maybe we're all getting better at it. I think we're getting better at getting better sound out of digital.
Great. Well, let's get one of your videos in here before we run out of too much time here. We get more people calling in. This next video you want to play is called Paper Man, right?
Paper Man with Jean Balduc on drums and Terry Pierce on keyboards.
All right. We're going to play that and come back and talk to it. So right now we're going to play this song on SoFloRadio.com.
Yeah, let that roll for a while there. Let's talk about this.
Yeah, this is like a long intro, so you can tell us a little bit about what we're seeing there, because everybody's watching it at the same time. Who's in the video here?
Well, this is really something. I moved away from drums, as I've always been a songwriter. You can see me there. And Jean Balduc took over drums. And so Jean Balduc is in this.
Isn't he
there he is right there. Look at that.
I thought he was a famous, like, French admiral from the 1700s.
Jean Balduc. I think he was reincarnated. In fact, he's got that kind of life that they never die. And they just keep going and going.
He's going to be the captain of the Starship Enterprise.
That's right. They keep going. There's Professor Z.
Oh, yeah. And he's playing his Music Man. I'd love for him to call in and talk about bass. You know, I love the bass guitar. And that Music Man bass is a great sounding bass.
Yeah. This is a big, long intro shot by Red Scope Productions with Lenny Marsh. There he is. There's Lenny Marsh. There's Morgan Mead, the singer of Second Son. He was helping out on that. In fact, he was singing with us quite a bit back then. And here it is, Paper Man.
Okay, let's listen to that for a while, okay?
Who's the guy? He's on his back. He's thinner than a hair strand. Paper Man. Paper Man. Who's the guy that rules the world and he lives in a garbage can. Paper man, paper man. He writes the waves of hypocrisy, digs his roots into the sand. Paper man, in the shadows of red, white, and blue, but he fought for Uncle Sam. Paper man, paper man. Now who finds hope in hidden places and she cooks like no one can? Paper woman, paper woman. She reproduces, creates life, delivers upon no command. This girl, paper woman, paper woman.
All right. So we saw Billy Bate playing the guitar and then switching over to the drums and in the middle of a recorded song. How did that work out?
Heck yeah.
Obviously, it worked out well.
That was pretty tricky.
All right. Hey, listen, we got some another person on the phone here. Who's on the phone? Hello?
Yes, Rick.
Hey, who are we speaking with?
This is Rupert Ziewinski, the professor.
Ah, the professor. Yes, we were just talking about you. How you doing? Thanks for calling the show.
I'm doing fine. I'm in the wilds of California at Lassen Volcanic Park.
Ooh, things must be hot.
Having a beautiful day here.
That's nice. Thanks for calling in. We just saw each other a couple weekends ago for the first time in a long time, and just
Yes.
reminiscing about old days and looking at some old videos from the 80s, where I was a lot skinnier back then. This guy, Bill Newell, looks exactly the same. You know, well, not exactly, but
You
he
need
didn't
glasses.
get fat. What's up with that? How come you didn't get fat like the rest of us?
I did it. It went away.
All right, welcome to the show. How's it going out there?
It is going fine. I'm just enjoying a little time off, and I saw the posting that Newell was going to be on the radio program today.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
and
Professor
I
Z.
thought I would
Hey,
call in.
Rube.
Yeah, man. You guys, when did you first join the band, Roop? Tell us a little bit about how you and Newell here hooked up for the live Bate thing.
Well, Newell and I have known each other since the late 60s. We were about 12 years old, I think, when we first met. And we used to spend a lot of time, doing jam sessions. And I was asked to join and found the Wizard of All, and he was in the band with Orazio Spagnardi and
That's
Kevin
right.
Hurley, who was just hanging out with Dave Crosby the other night, and Kenny Claggett, Journey Giway.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
And
Rupert,
Peter
we're looking at some pictures from your old band there.
There's Rupert on the
from
left.
Live Bate?
Yep.
On the left of the screen right there. That's him. Yep. That's Rupert Z.
Okay, so I'm sorry I interrupted. Go ahead. Tell me how you guys met.
Yeah, well, we met playing music as we used to get together on the weekends at Pedro Valdez's
Yeah,
home.
we were
and,
all.
Mm-hmm.
Rupert was
We
in
were,
all.
Oh, yeah?
And
You
he
were
played a Telecaster guitar.
Mm.
That's right. Chuck Berry lyrics.
Yeah, I had become a bass player by default, and I thank Greg Jackson, one of my best friend Jeff Jackson's older brother, for selling me a Fender Precision bass when my guitar got stolen. So I was a bass player by default.
And Jeff Jackson was the guitarist for all. And Jeff Jackson
Yeah,
has...
Jeff Jackson
what's
and
the name
Pedro
of his...
and Bill Bate.
What's
Cool.
the name of Jeff's group right now up in Tampa area?
Jeff is playing he lives in Plant City, I believe.
And it's the Ace Kings?
Ace Jackson. I think
Yeah,
is his
Ace
band.
Jackson.
Yeah, I got to say, you're one of the guys that transferred from the guitar to the bass, but actually play the bass the way it's supposed to be played. You know, a lot of guys that are guitar
Rick,
players
let me
think,
tell
"Oh yeah,
you-
sure."
Let me tell you a story.
Okay, I'm ready.
My first instruments I played was the gut bucket, which is a wash tub bass.
True.
And that was because of my dad, and I'm probably one of the only people I know that have ever played a gut bucket with a bow. So I was Arco Gut Bucket.
You know, I think I've heard of you. Yeah, Arco Gut Bucket.
Gut Bucket.
Yeah. All right.
So you can not only wash your clothes, but you can make music with that instrument.
I'll tell you right now, Professor Z's been doing a lot of amazing music in the
yeah?
studio. And he's doing some with Sound Art Productions, and he's letting me produce some
Yes.
of them. And we've come up with some amazing blues.
Mm.
Yeah, and Newell's writing some great tunes and helping to get the groove happening and producing, and we're all in it still together.
That is
Can't
great.
wait to get Russ Hinton back in on the scene.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'm going to bring him in as Saturday night. I think we're having a kind of a jam session thing over at the
Yep.
studio, right?
Yep, we are.
I'm going to have.
Oh, wonderful.
I'll see
I'll
you
be
there.
there in spirit. Maybe I can do a FaceTime thing.
Hey, we will. That's a good idea.
Excellent, excellent. Hey, listen, thanks for calling in. You have a great time, and I look forward to seeing you when you get back, man. We'll talk more bass. I love that Music Man bass that you play. You've had that for a long time, haven't you?
Yeah, that was originally given to my teacher, Frank Carroll, by Leo Fender, and Frank gave it to me.
Wow.
So it's one of the first batches of basses out, and
Wow.
I feel honored and privileged and blessed to have it as my main act for over 30 years.
Wow.
No wonder you want to play it on every recording.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it sounds great.
Well, I'll tell you, there's a lot of.
Louis Johnson, who just passed away, played it, and he said, "This is the best one I've ever played."
You got it
And
directly
he got
from
the
Leo.
first batches too. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
Well, bless you guys,
yeah.
and peace and love to you and your show. And I can't wait to get back to Florida and get back in the groove. I'll be
And,
ready to rock, man.
Happy trails
Yeah.
to you.
To me.
Thanks, Professor. Thanks for calling into the show. We'll see you
All
when you
right.
get in town.
Love you.
Love you,
Best
man.
to Newell.
All right.
See you
thanks.
later.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't we, at this particular time, take a little break at the bottom of the hour and come back and we'll play that video we're talking about. And we'll be back in just a second. And we got a lot more to talk about here.
Cool, man.
This break's not going to be very long, so don't go away, folks. Just hang out, and we'll be right back on SoFloRadio.com.
Hi, this is Zaina Dagaya, and I'd love to share with you about my good friend Nicole of Legit Fitness in-home training and yoga. She's a certified yoga teacher, and she's an amazing and experienced trainer that can design a program to fit your specific needs and goals. She's so cool. She's super committed to making fitness and health fun and accessible for everyone. Plus, your first week is free as a new client. Here's how you set up your first session. Either call 305-335-5590 or visit www.getlegitfit.com. GETLEGITFIT. Getlegitfit.com. 305-335-5590. Do it now!
Put a team of professional consultants behind your home or business computer with Key Information Solutions, providing solutions to your internet and computing needs while keeping you on the cutting edge of technology. Preventative maintenance and networking support, hardware and custom-built computers. Let Key Information Solutions be your personal tech staff for your home or office with affordable hourly, monthly, or annual rates to fit anyone's budget. Call Key Information Solutions now. 954-973-3374. That's 954-973-3374. Or visit keyinformation.com.
Hi, this is George. You know, trying to get laid all day makes me hungry, so I go to Power Smoothie in Aventura and get the healthiest wraps and most delicious smoothies ever made. I mean, really, the smoothies are so insanely delicious, they're orgasmic. The staff is friendly there and cute. The food is healthy and real, not processed. This is not fast food, it's good food served fast. And they love me there. They even let me create my own smoothie, the Malted Jorge. Go in and ask for one. They're in the Promenade Shops right off of US 1 in Aventura, or call them at 305-792-5338. You can also visit them online at powersmoothieaventura.com.
Why bother listening to those other douchebags while we've got everything you need right here? SoFloRadio.com. Radio you've missed.
All right, we're back, folks, and we got a little special treat. Mr. Newell Bate is going to play a little live songs for us here, and I believe you're going to play a song called I'm Going Crazy About You. So, Mr. Newell Bate live.
I'm going crazy about you. I'm going crazy about you. There's a train so fast, no future, no past. I'm going crazy about you. I think you've gotten into my head. These are the things better left unsaid. I'm a fool with desire. I can't put out this fire. I'm going crazy about you.
Newell Bate live in the studio and southflowradio.com on Rick's Show on the Radio.
All right.
Yeah. Excellent, man. So, how many more friends we got that want to call out there? Let's see. I don't know if they're all probably busy or sleeping, but I know we've worked
our
with
friends
a lot of musicians.
a little bit of relaxation.
I want to go back into some of the stuff that you've done on a professional basis, because not very many people know that you've produced some really excellent musicians. I know there's Randy Bernson, Jaco Pastorius, and I know you've done some work with the likes of George Martin, Pat Travers, Othello.
That's right.
Go ahead.
These would all be because of my good friend Pete with Artisan Recorders. But yes, one of the most amazing things was Randy's first recordings, which became Holiday for Pants. And that was just recently released, I guess, with Jaco, Holiday for Pants.
Wow.
But we had Jaco in there. We had Bobby Economo. We had Othello. Othello had just come in. He just had gotten his passport, man, and he was here. I mean, that was how early it was. Those recordings were done on a TAC 8-track, and we had a lot of energy in the room. They probably didn't come out as good as they could have because everybody was so on fire and loud.
Wow.
We were loud. We probably had a twin reverb turned all the way up for Randy, and we were loud. It was great, though. That was something.
I want to hear that.
That was something.
Randy
That's
Bernson
around.
and Jaco Pastorius in the same room,
that's
though.
around. And there are some other big heavyweights that I forget who were in the room. People out there listening will probably know more than me. I don't remember. I was probably so involved in recording it that it went by real quick.
But let me give the number out one more time. If anybody's listening and wants to call in, it's 954-990-0036.
The other coolest thing, which I say probably with nobody, there's only one other person who has worked with this gentleman within, 1,000 miles maybe 2,000? George Martin.
Yeah, legendary producer.
I got to work with George Martin shoulder to shoulder. I was the tape op, and Pete would cut the tape. And what we did was we recorded
real tape now we're talking, right?
2-inch master with George Martin. We drove the bus up to the middle of Florida, and it was for a movie, and they recorded an orchestral piece 3 times and then told them to go home. We spent 6 hours on the whole session, and probably 4 hours of that was cutting 2-inch tape. And George walked out of there with a perfect version, cutting 2-inch tape. And I was the tape op, and Pete was cutting. Wow. And he would just wave his arm as the tape was going, and we would make a little line and cut it and put this piece over there. And we had no clue he was orchestrating it. The best thing about that I learned with George Martin, because we were all nervous all the way up. Oh, boy, what's he going to, how are we going to set up? It's George Martin of the Beatles.
Yeah.
The best thing I learned from him was, the first thing he said was, "Hello, how would you boys like to record this?" That's what he said to us. And, of course, Pete had his technique for recording orchestras back then already, and we recorded it, and we only moved a mic like 6 feet, and that was that. The other thing I learned was we didn't talk about the Beatles. I didn't bring up the Beatles. Everybody else brought up the Beatles. He did not want to talk about the Beatles. When it came time for the promo pictures, George Martin had his arm around me because we talked about Oranges, we talked about Florida, we talked about Cheap Trick, who he was producing at the time. I said how much I like Cheap Trick. I mumbled probably some BS about his, I heard you're with Cheap Trick,
So then you got the arm around you.
But I got the arm around me at the end of the session, and his assistant, and they were like really, really psyched to work with me and Pete.
That's great. Yeah, we got to have Peter Yanellis come on the show or something. That guy's got some
I
history,
wish he would. Yeah, he's our, man. Yep.
Okay. And you say you some work with Pat Travers?
Now, Pat Travers, we did 14 dates for Pat Travers, and that was really exciting because 2 weeks after the recordings were done, there we were, like number 3 on the radio with our recording.
It's
that
boom,
was
boom, boom,
boom, out go the lights.
You guys did that?
We did that.
That's awesome,
and,
man.
me and the drummer Tommy Aldrich became best friends, and we hung out every day
Tommy
before
Aldrich.
the show, if you can imagine. We had
Yeah.
a great time before every show and after.
And Mars Cowling, he's a great bass
Mars
player.
was amazing.
Yeah.
And you know what happened to that? A lot of money was flying around, and people's heads get a little bit big, so they, you know, that's what happens. And so Pat moved on, I suppose. And
Now, don't some of those guys still live around here? Doesn't Mars live around here?
I think Mars lives around here.
Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah. A
thought
buddy of
so.
mine was just working with Mars. They were doing a Pat Travers documentary for a buddy of mine over here out in Hollywood.
Oh, wow.
And
Cool.
he's around. Yeah. Mars is around.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. So that's great. So that's a lot of you've had a lot of you're producing a lot of stuff in your
Well,
studio, aren't you?
One of why I've been able to stay in music right now is because I'm a multi-instrumentalist.
Mm-hmm.
I can record people and I produce people. And I stuck my head in Pro Tools when it came out and just got into it. And now I'm doing things that they don't even have names for.
Yeah, that's
we are like
that's a thing about really any person in general, but
Yes.
especially musicians, is that the evolution of the technology around us is
we're
changed so
inventing
much.
it right now. These kids over here in the studio here, they are inventing it. They don't even
Young
know
Anthony over here, yep,
it. He
he's
doesn't even know it, but you're
born with an
inventing this stuff.
iPod in his hand.
Right, exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, baby. Yeah, man.
Yeah, but you've kept up on that though. So you put
I've
the
kept up
8-track,
on it, and I put my head into it, and it's like,
which kind of think about it now. The science of just recording a good sound with a tape machine, mic placement, all that analog stuff takes so long, and to figure out.
you have to really mess up a lot to find out what works.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, Pro Tools or that digital technology comes around, and it's like, okay, now you could put that away.
Yeah, you can put that away, and now I think everybody's we're in the infant stages still of digital recording in
That's
a way.
amazing to think about
when
that.
you think about it, because if you think about the telephone, that's 100 years old now.
Right.
Well, just think in 100 years of recording, what's going to be happening.
That's true.
I think
It's a good
digital is
analogy.
going to be so good. I think it will become such high quality that 96 hertz will be nothing. Listen,
It also
playback.
makes a lot more accessible for people to record their music if they really get into it.
Yeah. This MP3 thing, the kids know later on when they are listening to music. At first, they're just digging music like we did, and it rocks you, and that's fine. But later on, they know sound. When they hear sound and it sounds better, they go, hey, you know what? We need better sound. Mm-hmm. So, they know.
Yeah, it's true. I know a lot of
what's going on.
young people that, they kind of want to go back to vinyl a lot.
Yeah. They are going back to vinyl. Yeah. We're going back to vinyl. Yep. Now, our record, this vinyl record, this is the Live Bait from what year was this? 1981. Now, we were so excited about this that when they sent us the test pressing, it wasn't that great, but we were so excited. We're like, oh, yeah, it's great.
Our record.
Do it. But now that I look back, we probably didn't get the best printing.
Is that open? Because I want to show all
it's
these
open.
people. Hey, you guys, Anthony, I know you're kind of, you know what that is? That's a record. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Periscope. Hey, look, everybody, we got an actual vinyl record. And you can eat these.
Yeah. The coolest thing about the Live Bait logo was that, it goes upside down, it says Live Bait upside down and backwards.
No, really. What is it?
Yeah.
What do they call those things?
Yeah, what do they call those?
No.
They have a name for that.
Oh, okay, so it's the same thing. Okay.
Now, we do own the name. We own this name, everybody out there. There's Live Bait of the West, there's Live Bait of the Midwest, there's Live Bait of the East, there's Live Bait of the West and the North.
Kind of like
but
the witches, right?
We are, yes, but we are the real Live Bait.
The original Live Bait.
And it's, yeah, we own the name. And
Excellent.
there are other Live Baits out there, but I didn't want to go after you. I let you go. It's okay.
You're so magnanimous.
Yeah, it's okay.
The father of Live
It's
Bait.
all right. Yeah.
So what are you doing these days?
Well-
Exactly right now. What's going on in Live Bait Studios there?
Well, Live Bait Studios right now, I've been producing John Melnick. We had a major hit with Before You Go with this artist, John Melnick, who's a keyboardist and writer and singer. a while back he got together with Dr. Sam, and they've had this song has had millions of downloads around the world. It's called Before You Go. And I produced that with John Catt and the rest of the gang. And now that I listen to it, it's not that big of a production. And I guess that was the magic of it, is that we just...
It's a good song.
Let it go, right. We let it be a good song.
Speaking of songs and songwriting, how many songs do you think that you've written in there?
I think that I have written, because I am in the middle of archiving my library, and I think it's easy to say that I've written a couple of thousand songs. But those are what I have. So they're, 50, a couple of thousand. I would say it's easy to, that's what I have. And there are ones that have gotten away. And there's some very important early ones that are on a cassette out there that a lady named Esker might have. Yeah,
if you're listening out there, Esker.
You might have a cassette with some of my earliest material. I hope you do, because we're missing some from the earliest. Wow. Yeah, man.
So how do you tell me a little bit about your approach to songwriting? Where do you get your inspiration? I mean, there's people that wait around for inspiration, and there's people that just have it, coming out all the time. As very prolific.
Yeah. A few songs. One song in particular, there was a song named Follow the Rainbow, and it's one of Live Bates. I just keep going back to that song. Amy Elaine Anderson sang that song recently. And that song I woke up with, and I went to the studio, and I played the drums. I didn't even hit a chord yet or anything. It was all in my head. I knew everything. It was really weird.
I love those.
That was one of them that was there.
You woke up with it.
I woke up with it. I played the drums. I went right over to the keyboard and then finished all the other parts on the other instruments, bass, guitar, whatever. And that was one. But sometimes, they just come out. I have to stop myself, truthfully. I could write one right now.
Go ahead. Why not? Let's go. Let's do it right now. First time, Rick Show on the radio.
I went to Hollywood Boulevard to join the Rick Show. Yeah, he was the first guy to play the stick. He really played it. It wasn't a beep.
Thank you. I was not, as a matter of fact.
Was not.
Yes. All right. Well, that's, I don't know if that's a hit or anything.
Sorry, I broke into a song. This is like those old...
I know. You never know. It's going to happen. You're going to break out into song.
You know what I'm doing now? I got serious about singing. I do a Moon River Memories show. It's loosely dedicated to Andy Williams.
Like the old crooner type thing?
Yeah, all old crooner. I dedicate it to... to Burt Bacharach and all the great writers and all that. And I cover some Sinatra and I cover some Sammy.
Can you do one for us now on the way out?
Well, I do with these big productions.
Oh, of
so,
course,
I really got to put on my suit and tie. And
right.
Yeah, I do that. So I learned how to put together these orchestrations, and I've recreated all the, like I'll research a song and listen to like 6 versions of it and take their arrangement, the orchestrations, and put them all together.
Really?
And that's how I do it with the Moon, and I recreate these things from 40 to 100 hours of song.
So tell us, Newell, if somebody's listening and they have they're just hearing about you and your music now, how can they get a hold and listen to your stuff?
Well, you can if you go type my name in, you'll find me at, can I say
absolutely
places?
This is what it is.
Okay, well, you will find me at Bandcamp is the big one where we sell our music.
Oh, one time in Bandcamp? Never mind. Keep going.
You got me.
I know.
And we show our stuff at SoundCloud. You can get hooked up with me at SoundCloud, and you can find me Newell Bate on Facebook. And it leads. If you just put my name in there, it's going to lead you to all the stuff that's for sale.
So we can listen to all 2,000 of your songs from there?
Well, probably about
1,000 or so.
Maybe there's 100 out there.
At least 100 on there.
Maybe 8 albums out there right now.
All right.
8 or 9.
And what are you doing in the studio right nowadays? What's going on?
Right now, well, exactly this minute. Well, I got There's people.
No, what
in
are
this-
what are you working on?
Personally,
Yeah.
me?
Mhm.
Oh, gosh, golly, what's my next thing to work on? Oh,
Yes, that's the
because
question.
I have this ambient music that is really the most amazing ambient music that I'm working on.
I got your
Yeah.
CD you gave me, and I listened to some of it. 'Cause
They're-
I love ambient music myself.
I don't even have titles for them. I just number them. It's like Beethoven's whatever, how
Sure.
they numbered stuff. They're orchestral pieces. They're classical pieces in a way.
Right.
And I just have numbers for them, so we'll just have to have the people name them. But I also do the love space music.
Oh,
That's
what's that all
probably the
about?
next thing I'm going to do right now. I haven't done any love space music in a
What
while.
is that all about?
You can find that at CD Baby, Love Space, and I'm known as Frequency Response USA. Frequency Response USA.
There you go,
Love
people.
Space. That's music that's all vintage instruments. It's like as if the time capsule stops at before synthesizers. So it can be psychedelic, but it's all vintage instruments, no synthesizers. Anything else you can think of, psyched out stuff. All clean, beautiful brushes and mallets. That's brushes and mallets.
Nice.
And, bass like you play.
So it's kind of like just mood music. or
Mood music, songs.
Music for lovers.
I call it like the Andy Williams of jazz.
Oh, okay. Well, that'd be
It's
nice.
like
to
the
listen
Andy
to.
Williams of jazz. Yeah.
So you have any
But it's
ambitions towards that big Nashville scene where they're pumping out songs and songwriters?
Well, Nashville's coming to me.
Yeah, good.
I'm letting Nashville come to me. One of the artists I produced, Paul Wilson, became voted by the New Times. He was voted the #1 country artist of the southeastern region for the album I produced.
Excellent.
So, and I played most of the instruments on. So all of a sudden, I'm the #1 producer for country. And really, I grew up on Gene Clark. I grew up on Johnny Cash. But we didn't even call it country. It's just music.
Right,
it was
right.
just music.
Well, it's got a big crossover now.
Yeah.
Big. It's very big.
It was always all music to us. That was what it was all about.
That's true. It didn't
Now we
matter.
have to have these.
As long as it's got soul,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Well, thanks very much for coming on the show. I mean, you're getting close to the end here. Do you want to play something for us or play a video on the way out?
Yeah, let's
It's up
play
to
a
you.
video.
What do
Why
you
don't we
say?
play a little Love Space? You can find this at CD Baby if you want. Play a little Bebo. Can I talk about this for a minute?
Yeah, let's do that before we play
this,
it.
This song, real quick, I'll tell you, is called Bebo, and there's a story. I would love to see a movie made of it. It's about a kid who's living on the streets and is taken in by another older kid, and they do good. And he opens. Turns out that he does good, and Bebo opens up like a shelter for kids that were in his situation. But it's a very heavy movie.
How did you
can imagine?
How did you get inspired for that song?
Well, probably watching these documentaries about those kids down in Rio and all that, the street
right,
kids and
yeah.
all that. Yeah, the street
They
kids.
just get
and all
shot.
that. Yeah, all that bad stuff.
Yeah.
So I thought it hit me, Bebo, and it just all came at once. So I have a real idea for a movie for that.
Okay.
So this is the song Bebo, and there's even this could even be a vocal song. Actually, it will be a vocal song. Right now, it's an instrumental.
All right. Well, we're going to go out on that one. And once again, Newell, thank you very
Rick,
much for
so
being on
much.
the show. And I mean, you're a legend in the area here,
thank you.
and I'm happy to get back to my roots in music.
It's all
And-
about the music.
Yep,
for
and
me.
bring back a lot of our good friends and musicians out there who've all played together. And
Yes.
I'll be continuing to
I
do
really
that.
appreciate you having me on the show. It's great.
No problem. We wish you
Fantastic.
the best of luck, and we're going to go out on Newell Bates'
Love Space.
Love Space. And
Love
this is-
Space Music with Bebo by Newell Bate.
And that's on SoFloRadio.com. We'll see you again, folks. All right? Thank you.
Ah, cool.
From high atop 1926 Hollywood Boulevard, you're listening to SoFloRadio.com.